Hello everybody, my name is Kirti Sri Ganapati and today we will be covering the topic health, access and the environment. The next few minutes we will understand the potential risks to physical health resulting from the use of computers. We'll describe some possible emotional health risk associated with the use of computers. We'll see what is meant by the term digital divide and discuss the impact that factors such as nationality, income, race, education, physical disabilities that may have on computer access and use. And we'll be listing some types of assistive hardware that can be used by individuals with physical disabilities. We'll see some ways of computer users who can practice green computing and properly dispose of obsolete computer equipment. We'll discuss the current status of legislation related to health, access, the environment in relation to computers. So as discussed, we will be covering the following topics: the impact of computers on our physical and emotional health, the strategies individuals can use to lessen health risks, and the issues related to access of technology, the impact of computers on our environment, the legislation related to these issues. So let's move on to part 1. The computer is a vital tool in many different jobs and activities for adults and children. Considering the current situation, everything has been moved online. But the long periods of using a computer can increase your chance of developing an injury. Inappropriate computer use can cause muscle and joint pain, over injuries such as overuse of such computers and inappropriate positions can cause shoulder injuries, arm, wrist, or even hand, eye strain, etc. So it can cause blurred vision, fatigue, headaches, wrist and finger pain. This could be the continuous typing on the keyboards, or inappropriate locating of your wrist while typing it, something called as RSI, repetitive stress injury, CTS, that is carpal tunnel syndrome, etc. So as already told, it can cause computer vision syndrome, backache, iPad shoulder from looking down at tablets, and gorilla arms from touchscreens. Other physical concerns include, but not limited to, the heat from the laptops. When you keep your laptops directly without any cushion on top of your lap or without a table, so the heat caused from the laptops would be causing severe health related issues onto your legs and thighs. Hearing loss from headphones. If you use continuous headphones for a long period of time, say suppose if you're attending meetings from day to night, there could be hearing loss due to the headphones, continuous usage of headphones. So we will be seeing something called as 60-60 rule. We'll see what it is and how should we implement this in our day-to-day lives for avoiding the hearing loss from the headphones. We also know that there are noise reduction headphones which would block out other noises, and we will be able to have better focus. So coming to the 60-60 rule, it says that turn your device volume up to 60% and listen for no more than 60 minutes per day. So 60% of volume for no longer than 60 minutes per day. If you're having continuous meetings or calls, have a break or listen directly from your computers or laptops instead of using headphones and mics. Moving to texting or otherwise using phone while driving. It is definitely illegal in most states, and it is illegal in Illinois as well. Apps and other controls can be used to prevent the use of phone while the car is in motion. So it basically distracts you from the purpose of whatever you are doing. So avoid using telephones for calls or SMS or social media while you're stuck in traffic or even while driving. The possible radiation risks from wireless devices are also enormous. Coming to ergonomics. So, have you ever heard of this term ergonomics? So, basically, ergonomics is the science of fitting a work environment to people who work there. So now that things are moving online and most 90% of a course syllabus is moving towards is online, having a good work environment or office kind of study setup for your courses would be very beneficial in the long term use. So what exactly consists of ergonomics? Let us see. Here you can see this picture where this person is sitting, and the chair on which she is sitting has an angle. So it has to be an adjustable chair where the height and the back support is lower back support can be adjusted. So if your back is completely straight without any adjustments, that would cause lower back issues. And it has to be adjusted according to your height. Proper use of position. So when you're in front of your laptop or a computer screen, have a proper angle according to your eye. So sit straight with shoulder back and about 24 inches away from your monitor. Keep the forearms, wrists and hands straight. Keep forearms and the thigh panel parallel to your floor. Do not sit as if you're sitting on a lounge or something. So all these measures are for long-term usages. Okay, if you keep having bad postures over a period of time, you'll be developing neck issues or eye strain, all such stuff. So it's always preferred or advised to tilt and swivel monitor, that is adjust for a comfortable viewing angle. Top of the screen should be no higher than 3 inches above a user's eye. So usually having a eye level perspective is preferred. So have a document holder which keeps the document close to the monitor so that the user does not have to turn his or her head. Of course, having an adjustable table or desk according to the height. Optimal height is between 25 to 29 inches tall. Keyboard and mouse should be at or above the elbow height. You can actually try to adjust all your table adjustments according to whatever is shown here. Having a footrest can be used, but it's always comfortable if you have a footrest. So try to do all these changes and see if there is a difference. And I'm pretty sure there is a better comfort level after you have all the above discussed adjustments. So your workspace design should be a safe and effective computer workspace. Having a monitor or viewing screen too close or too far would affect your vision. So there are also something called as standing desk. If a person is not comfortable sitting for longer period of times, say suppose if if a person is working in an organization and continuously from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. continuously, a person cannot sit. So that's the reason there is something called standing desks. Here you can see in the picture, the monitor is adjusted to the eye level, and this particular kind of stands are available so that the display can be or the monitor can be adjusted accordingly. It's more difficult with portable computers and mobile devices, but it's definitely possible to improve the work environment. So when you're traveling, have a portable mouse and travel keyboard. So I'll show you on the screen, I can show you the mouse which I'm using. So this is a portable mouse, and I've connected it through Bluetooth. There are other devices, wired devices as well. So standing desks are an emerging trend for sure. And there is something called docking stations, and it is designed to connect portable computer to peripheral devices more easily. These are the different docking stations which you can see here, and the device stands that can help to create a more comfortable working environment. A notebook or a tablet stand here in this picture, picture number 2, the green color one. So it holds your laptop, your tablet, and there are smartphone docks as well, which is shown over here. So do you own any of these docking stations? I'm sure it would be helpful. So let us see some of the ergonomic tips for portable computer and tablets. So for occasional users, point 1 would be sit with the device on a table and position it for the comfortable wrist posture, and using a stand for tablets whenever possible. If there is no stand or table available, use a laptop desk to protect your desk, all legs, sorry. Always have a cushion or some kind of intermediate block kind of thing which protects your legs. If a person, sorry, if a person is a full-time user, sit with the device on a desk or a table. It's always preferred to have a table and have it adjusted to your eye level, and have your back posture also adjusted accordingly. So again, moving to occasional user, adjust the screen to a comfortable position so that you can see the screen as straight as possible. Do not have your screen tilted or too above your eye level or too below your eye level. And if it is a full-time user, elevate the device so that the screen is at the proper height and distance, or connect the device to a standalone monitor. In either case, adjust the viewing angle and distance. So these are all points which we already saw in the picture. So have a proper height, have a proper viewing angle, and adjust your chair accordingly. Have a proper height of the chair, have a proper angle for the chair as well. Use a comfortable or traveling keyboard or portable keyboard and mouse. For both, I would suggest having a mouse and a keyboard for both occasional users and full-time users. It basically is more comfortable while using the laptop. And when purchasing a new device, pay close attention to the total weight of the system if you will be using it primarily while traveling. If it is too heavy, even the usage of 1 hour or 2 hours for your coursework or for any project work, it would hurt or damage your system in the long run. It's the effects are always not short term, it's always long term. And for full-time users, when we are purchasing a new device, we definitely have to pay attention to the clarity of the display screen as well as the ease of connecting the device to a docking station. So coming to ergonomic hardware, it can help avoid physical problems or alleviate the discomfort of existing problems. There are ergonomic keyboards, trackballs, tablet arms, document holders, etc. We will be seeing an image for all these shortly. There are something, have you heard or do you use computer gloves? Have you ever come across such gloves? So here in this picture, you can see this is the ergonomic keyboard. You can see that the keyboard has a kind of stand which holds the palm and the wrist area. And this is the ergonomic mice. Instead of the regular mice like this is more vertical. These are tablet arms here, you can see, which is attached to the monitor. These are keyboard drawers and trays which is connected to your table. And these are computer gloves which we just discussed. So what are some of the good user habits? Having if there's a condition for wrist or hand injuries, it's better to use a light torch on a keyboard and touchscreen. Rest and gently stretch your fingers and arms every 15 minutes or so. There is also something called 20-20 rule. If you're watching a screen for 20 minutes, take a break for 20 seconds and look around for 20 seconds, and then you can get back. So it always avoids the computer strain and it avoids headaches as well. So keep your wrists and arms relaxed and parallel to the floor while using a keyboard. When using a touch screen for extended periods of time, place the device more horizontally than vertically instead of holding it like this. If you hold it this way, it would be more comfortable. Using an ergonomic keyboard, ergonomic mouse, computer gloves, and other ergonomic devices if you begin to notice wrist or hand soreness. So if a person is undergoing eye strain, it's always better to cover the windows or adjust the lighting to eliminate the glare. Rest your eyes every 15 minutes. So previously when I mentioned 20 minutes, here they have mentioned as 15 minutes. Take frequent breaks. Do not continuously stare at your display devices. Make sure your display's brightness and contrast setting are appropriately set. Do not have too high of a brightness or too low of a brightness where you have to again peep into the display screen and see what exactly is shown onto the screen. So using a larger text size or lower screen resolution if needed, you should be able to read your display screen from 3 times and the distance at which you normally sit. So if you have a sore or a stiff neck, it's always advisable to use good posture. Never haunch or over your keyboard or your device. Do not keep sitting like this. It's always better to have a good posture. Place your display and any document you need to refer while using your device directly in front of you. Adjust your display to a comfortable viewing angle with the top of the screen no higher than 3 inches above your eyes. So as we previously saw, it's always either preferred at eye level or a little above your eye level. Using a headset, already we saw the 60-60 rule, that is have your headset at 60% of volume and do not use a headset more than 60 minutes per day. It's the entire day. So if it's always advisable not to use headphones more than 1 hour. So coming to backache and general fatigue, use a good posture again. Walk around and stretch briefly at least once every hour. Alternate activities frequently. So sitting on the chair, there are a couple of exercises where you can stretch your legs, stretch your arms, and bend around so that all the soreness is not showed at one particular muscle. So if you feel that, okay, there's ringing in my ears and if there is a hearing loss, turn the volume down when using headphones. Wear over the ear headphones instead of earbuds. So something like this instead of completely inside the earbuds. Limit the amount of time you use headphones or earbuds. And finally, use external speakers instead of headphones whenever possible. So if you have a complete separate study room, so it's better if you have your direct speakers instead of headphones. So if a person is experiencing leg discomfort or burns, use a laptop desk, cooling stand, or other barriers between a portable computer and your legs. So even this one, we saw having a cushion or a pillow if nothing is available, that if a cooling stand or a laptop desk is not available, you can always use a pillow or a cushion. So these are some of the good habits which we saw. Moving to emotional health. So increased use of computers and mobile devices in the home and office has raised concerns about emotional health. So what exactly does it mean? So having continuous usage of phones, it increases the stress within us, and the stress induces health issues, of course. Stress of ever-changing technology, That is, knowledge of the ability to use technology is a necessity in many jobs. So what was technologically advanced just a month ago or an year ago has changed so rapidly and drastically that keeping pace with it is very difficult, and that induces stress in our body. Technology changes at rapid pace, as already told, and workers must regularly learn new skills, which can create stress for many individuals. So this is the an image where you can see police officers using tablets, restaurant service using tablets. Everywhere, wherever you go, there is always a screen in front of us. So having a screen almost 24/7 in front of us is the ability to be in touch constantly can be a source of great stress. There is something called FOMO, fear of missing out. We see our screens, our mobile phones, our social media so frequently that even staying without it for an hour becomes a very big task and a challenge. So we are on call 24/7 and can never get away. It's very hard to relax when on vacation, and considering it as a challenge, I took it up that okay, at least the next 4 or 5 hours in my day, I'm not going to use my mobile phone. So it is very difficult to not use mobile phones continuously, because we are kind of addicted to usage of having a screen in front of us almost all the times in a day. So there are concerns of using bright screens in bed as well. So right before going to the sleep, having a screen, okay, going through your social media feed, or even just googling some stuff or reading newspaper right before a person goes to bed is also causing stress and induces stress, which causes health issues and emotional health issues. So health is not just the physical health, it causes emotional health issues as well. So moving to tablet docks, here in the image you can see that this is a tablet dock, and you can see that these two units can be dismantled or detached from each other. So the sum includes few of the docks include the USB monitor, etc., to connect to the peripherals, and some contain a battery. So what is information overload? It's good searching technique, and we do not try to read everything written on a subject. So it can easily manage our emails. We can use email filtering, flags, and other tools. We can also check messages and update periodically. So you can see that the email reminder flags can help you organize your inbox here. There are different categories. So this particular flag here, which says, okay, there are different flags as well: urgent, and important, send it immediately, all such flags. Have you seen any of these things in your day-to-day email box? So here we can again mark it as unread. So these are some of the options which are available in Outlook. So moving to burnout, it's a state of fatigue or frustration brought on by overwork. So what are some of the early signs for burning out? It's the feeling of emotional and physical exhaustion. You have so many things in your plate that even if you keep working 24 hours in a day, the work just doesn't seem to end. So that induces emotional and physical exhaustion. No longer caring about a project that was once exciting. So irritability or feelings of resentment about work or work to be done. So when you have too many things, it's like, okay, I'm done, I'm not able to do anymore. That causes irritability. What could be the possible solutions? So we can actually prioritize our tasks. We can see what is there is. I'm sure you would have come across urgent and important, urgent but not important, important but not urgent, not important, not urgent. So you can categorize your or prioritize your tasks according to these categories and work and schedule your day accordingly. It's always good to have breaks, take breaks frequently. Say no to additional commitments when you kind of know that you won't be able to deliver whatever tasks have been in front of you. It's always advisable to say no. It's easy to say yes, but very difficult to say no. Always develop a healthy food and exercise routines. Have you exercised today? Moving to augmented reality or AR. Is AR and VR the same? I want you to find that out. What is augmented reality versus virtual reality? So, augmented reality are computer generated images that are overlaid upon on real time images. Here, you can see that this is a regular street, and on top of it, it shows different ratings of different stores over here. Today, most of the smartphones with the camera input, it actually shows all such. This can be one of the real-time app. So, internet and technology addiction. So, problem of overusing or unable to stop using the internet. So, this kind of problem also we just discussed right now, that it is a kind of addiction that we need a screen all the time. So, overusing, scrolling over the feeds, going through Reddits, and other type of social media, it has affected many people irrespective of the age groups. It can involve emailing, texting, online shopping, online gambling, social media, etc. It has significant consequences such as relationship problem, job loss, academic failures, and apart from all this, it induces mental stress as well. It has been increasingly tied up with crime and even death. There was, I guess, 1 or 2 years before, there was something called Blue Whale Challenges. Have any of you heard of it? So that was, it's a game where finally it did not have a good ending. So these are the signs of addiction. So if you feel that you are preoccupied with the internet, think about the previous online activity or anticipate the next online session. If you feel the need to use the internet with the increasing amount of time in order to achieve satisfaction, or if you repeatedly made unsuccessful efforts to control or cut back the stop of internet usage, all these are some of the, but definitely not limited to the internet addiction. I guess that's all from my side. Thank you.